What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Clippers Latest, where we talk all things LA Clippers, quick, fast, and to the point. I'm your host with the most, Brandon Goggins, back here with another episode for you guys today. Hope that everybody is doing A-okay at whatever time you may be watching this video. If you are, make sure you give this video a like if you haven't already, and consider subscribing if you are new here, as we're on the road to 1.5 subs. You know, I say the road to 2K all the time, so why not switch it up today? Obviously, we talked about the aspiration, investigation, Kawhi scandal of it all, because I felt like that was something that needed to be talked about, seeing as that we have been talking about it for almost 365 whole days. But there was a major piece of news that dropped over the weekend that I didn't get to touch on in last episode, but I'm choosing to, talk about it here. And obviously, I'll just get straight to the chase. Bradley Beal is coming back to Los Angeles. After all of that speculation about, what was going to happen with him, just when we thought that it wasn't our problem anymore, we thought that Bradley Beal was in the past, we thought we was getting rid of bro. Clippers decided to sign brother to a 2-year, $13.2 million contract with a player option in the second year. I ain't gonna lie, I'll be real. I didn't expect the Clippers to give Bradley Beal this contract. I thought it was gonna be a done deal. I thought it was gonna be over. I know that there was always a potential, possibility of a return. All of that. You know what I mean? All of that is speculatory. If that is a word. If it's not, just pretend like I never said it. But you know what I mean? Speculative. That may have been what I meant. And even if he were to sign again or come back, I would think that it would be a veteran minimum. But somehow, he ended up getting a raise, which we will talk about. But if you remember last offseason, he signed a 2-year, $11 million contract with the Clippers, had a $5.6 million player option for this upcoming season, declined it, and now he's going back to the same team for more money. I don't think that I can even be mad at his agent, because his agent is putting in overtime and is robbing everybody free of their money, bro. Like, oh my gosh, like holy fleece. Holy fleece. He played 6 games. 6. And in those 6, averaged 8 points per game. Not even on good efficiency. His season ended abruptly because of hip surgery. So we never essentially got to see the version of Bradley Beal that the Clippers thought they were getting. I guess I understand, the theory, or like the reasoning behind wanting to give him another chance, because I guess it was a lost season for him. But I don't get it. I still don't get it. Why are we bringing Bradley Beal back to see what's left and giving a 33-year-old coming off of hip surgery a 2-year deal with a player option, paying him more than we already got him for? Especially when we trying to get younger. We spent all of this time trying to get younger. James Harden, you out. Zubats, you out. Kawhi Leonard, out. Bringing these new guys in, getting younger. It is clear to me that we were moving into a different era. I don't care if Bradley Beal lasted 6 games in that era. He was part of that past era. Get him gone. I don't get it. I just don't understand. I don't. And then the contract, to me, that's what really gets me that's what gets me going. That's what boils my freaking, I don't even know what they say. But when Phoenix bought him out, Beal reportedly gave back about $13.9 million, right under $14 million of the money that was owed. Then he signed with the Clippers for 2 years and $11 million. Now, 1 year later, Clippers give him a new deal worth $13.2 million. So the total value of this contract is almost the exact amount of money that Bradley Beal gave back to Phoenix. I don't get it. I'm not saying that there's some kind of secret agreement here. We don't know all that, but I can understand why people are like, what's going on here when they start seeing these numbers. It's a pretty crazy coincidence. But even if we ignore that part of it, the player option still confuses me. What exactly are we bidding against? Who are we bidding against? I guess Miami was reportedly interested. But was the market for a 33-year-old Bradley Beal, who just played 6 games of basketball and had a hip surgery, really strong enough that you have to give him 2 years and a player option? Because now if he comes back, plays well, and rebuilds his value, he can opt out. If things don't go well, he can opt back in. That's a pretty player-friendly deal for somebody who I feel still has a lot to prove, especially now. If there is a way that this works out, hypothetically, if Bradley Beal gets healthy and then somehow becomes a productive scorer again, this could become a movable contract. Maybe there's a contender out there that will need a scorer at the trade deadline. Suddenly he has some value. I hope that that's the case. I hope. I know that $13.2 million isn't for 2 years. Isn't going to destroy the franchise. Like, it's not crazy, but I just don't understand why the Clippers felt like they needed to be the team to give him this deal. Like, we didn't have to, bro. Especially when you look at who we are allegedly trying to bring back. Are we even at this point? Because this is where it gets interesting. Because when I hear this news, I'm thinking that Ben Matherin is cooked. It's over. The backcourt is already crowded as it is. Darius Garland, Keaton Wagler, Chris Dunn, Kobe Sanders, Grady Dick, Jordan Miller, and now Bradley Beal. So I'm just like, where is Ben supposed to fit in here? I don't know. But let these resources tell it. Mark Stein, the Clippers aren't done with him. The Pelicans, Bulls, and Bucks, they remain engaged with Matherin's camp, but the door for him to return is allegedly still open. And I feel like it makes sense to bring him back. He's 24 years old. Yes, he may have been a little inconsistent after coming to Los Angeles at the deadline. There are definitely parts of his game that need to improve, but I think that they can. He can already score. He knows how to get downhill and attack the rim. He can get to the free throw line and play in transition. He's very aggressive, and he knows what type of buckets he wants to get. I think there's still something to develop there. That's the type of player that I want this version of the Clippers taking chances on. You know what I'm saying? You just drafted Keaton Wagler at 19 years old. You have Yannick Konen-Niederhauser. You have your new franchise PG and Darius Garland. You're trying to build something that actually has a future. So if there is a way to keep Ben Matherin, I'm doing it. You know what I mean? I don't understand why we put our eggs in a 33-year-old's basket who has not proved anything worthy of anything with the Clippers, coming off a hip surgery, is known for fleecing teams for money and not playing. Like, I'm starting to think that BB, Bradley Beal's initials, barely any buckets. I don't even know if his middle name start with an A, but it's going to be barely any buckets. B-A-B, barely any buckets, Bradley Beal. I guess I could have just said barely buckets, but you understand what I mean. Why are we taking him over somebody that we have and just acquired at the deadline and seems to have a way higher upside? I know that Bradley Beal has allegedly proved more, but shit, Ben Matherin made it farther than Bradley Beal ever has. If we want to talk about postseason success, and that's the 10-year difference. I just don't understand it. I'm struggling to understand the logic behind this. But all in all, Matherin is still a restricted free agent. So if another team really wants him, I guess the Clippers could push for a sign and trade and get something back. But, maybe they actually want to keep him. And if that's the case, I think that's what we should do. I'd rather have too much young talent and figure out the minutes later than give up on a 24-year-old because the rotation looks crowded in August. But now that's going to be harder to do because now we have Bradley Beal, which makes the rotation even more crowded. And you know what that means? The roster is probably not done changing because right now we just have too many damn people. Darius Garland is your point guard. We know that. Keaton Wagler, he needs minutes. Bradley Beal, that's the thing, bro. That's the thing. He not finna come back and just like be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play this veteran role. You know what I mean? I'm a locker room presence. I'm coming to sit at the end of the bench. No, he's gonna be trying to play and he's gonna be out there effing up motion. Oh my gosh. Like, he's going to force his way into the lineup even if it ruins the flow of things, bro. Anyways, Bradley Beal is going to be trying to play. Chris Dunn still needs minutes. We need a defender if he's still lucky enough to be here. Kobe Sanders, he's going to be improving, so he's going to get more minutes. Same with Jordan Miller. Now we have Grady Dick, who is also able to play the 2 or the 3. And now, if you're talking about adding Ben Matherin back into that, somebody is probably going to have to move. You know what I mean? I know that there's Cam Christie as well, but Cam Christie probably will not be enough to just, make room for Ben Matherin. Like, something else is going to have to happen. Chris Dunn, I've seen him be listed as somebody that the Clippers could look to move to open up more backcourt minutes. I really would not like to. Somebody else that I wouldn't like to, Derrick Jones Jr. He could, create more time at small forward for Ben Matherin, but I just don't know. Then you also got roster numbers. Assuming that the Kawhi Leonard trade goes through, Clippers would have 16 players on the roster, so a move has to come anyways. And, maybe that tells us what a strategy could be. Maybe they ain't trying to build the perfect rotation in August. Maybe they're trying to collect as much talent as possible and then figure it out later. Bring back Beal, try to keep Ben, let Keaton develop, keep other young guys around, and then, get into the season and reassess. I guess. I don't know. If Beal ends up playing well and somebody wants him, maybe you flip him. I would love to do that, but is Bradley Beal going to play well? Probably not. I don't know, bro. I'm going to be... I have to be a Bradley Beal fan, like, whenever the season starts because, I would like to win basketball games, even though I don't know how much of that we're going to be doing this season. We need him to do something if he's going to be here. But if he does play well, I would like him gone as soon as possible. If a team comes with a good offer for one of our vets, maybe we take it. If Matherin takes another step, you have a 24-year-old who could be a part of your future, which is why I thought that we got him in the first place. Like, why are we keeping Ben Matherin instead of Isaiah Jackson? Like, I get that we are lackluster at the center position. The depth chart as far as that goes through Brook Lopez, Yannick, and Isaiah Jackson. Technically, Janai and Jamarion are farther down on the bench. They're not going to be playing for real. Baba Miller probably going to be playing the 4. I don't know. Isaiah Jackson could have gone. But nope. We're going to push away the player that I think has probably the most high upside out of everyone here to make room for Bradley Beal because he used to score a lot, 5 years ago. It makes sense to me. Yeah. So if this team is serious about getting younger, I feel like Matherin and Wagler are the exact kind of guys that, I would want getting these opportunities. So I just don't get the Beal signing. It confuses me, but I guess we'll see what happens. If the Clippers somehow come out of this with Bradley Beal and Ben Matherin while still creating some minutes for their young guys, I mean, I guess there's a vision that can be viewed there. But if bringing back Bradley Beal eventually costs you Ben Matherin, then that's where I have a problem with it, because I think that is utterly idiotic. I think it's stupid. It's so stupid. Because the thing is, as many cons as people view with Ben, he can develop those, and like there's more to be unlocked there. Like, he has amazing potential, and I feel like we would regret letting him walk and he goes somewhere else and starts thriving. Whereas we already know what Bradley Beal is about. We know that what he's capable of, or what he's not capable of, for lack for lack of a better term. And we already know like what we can expect. Obviously, I don't expect the exact same thing that happened last year to happen. But if he were to play X amount of games and then come over here with this suspicious either back or knee, hamstring, or some type of injury that puts him out for a couple months, I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to point back to this specific video and say I told you so. And it really just boils down to that there. So if we lose Ben, I hope that Lawrence is happy with the decision that he made. And I hope that he is able to sleep well, very well every night. And maybe he can call Bradley Beal, tell him good night before every time he goes to sleep. But anyways, I'm gonna get myself pissed off talking more about this, so I'm gonna end it here. But I hope that you guys enjoyed. Leave your thoughts about Bradley Beal down in the comments below. I'm very curious to know what you guys think about this signing, how you guys are feeling about it, what you think the implications are moving forward. And while you're doing that, be sure to leave a like on this video if you haven't already, and consider subscribing if you are new here, because we'd love to have you over here at Clip Gang, because if you ain't Clip Gang, don't bang. But I'm going to get on up out of here, y'all. Y'all be easy. Y'all stay sleazy. And as always, keep it capital P. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Y'all be smooth. Peace.